If you hear whistling in the woods at night, run. You're listening to Somber Midnight Stories. Let's begin. I grew up hearing one rule about the Appalachian woods. If you hear your name at night, and you're absolutely sure no one is there, don't answer. And if something whistles from the trees, you never whistle back. I used to think that was just mountain superstition, until I went hiking alone. This happened 2 years ago, in the foothills of the Appalachians, near a stretch of forest locals avoid after dark. They don't call it haunted, they call it wrong. There are stories about something that mimics voices, not perfectly, just enough. Enough to make you step off the trail. Enough to make you follow. Some people call it a skinwalker, though that's not the right folklore for Appalachia. Older residents just call it the caller. I was visiting my aunt in West Virginia and decided to hike a familiar trail I'd done before. It was late afternoon, plenty of daylight left, the sky clear. The forest was quiet but normal. Birds, wind, my boots on gravel. About an hour in, I realized something strange. The woods had gone completely silent. No insects, no birds. Even the wind seemed to hesitate. I stopped walking. That's when I heard it. A whistle. Short, soft. 2 notes. Behind me. I turned quickly. No one. Just trees stretching in every direction. I told myself it was another hiker. Maybe someone trying to get a friend's attention. So I kept walking. 10 seconds later, the whistle came again. Closer. Same 2 notes. I didn't turn this time. My heart started pounding, because I knew something. No one had passed me on the trail all day, and the parking lot had been empty when I arrived. Then I heard it. My name. Clear. Soft. Spoken from somewhere off the trail to my left. Not shouted. Just said. Like someone standing a few yards into the trees. Emily. My blood went cold. The voice sounded like my aunt, the exact tone she uses when she calls me in for dinner. But she was home, 30 minutes away by car. I stood frozen, and that's when I remembered the rule. Don't answer. I started walking faster. The trees felt closer now, the path less familiar. Then, a branch snapped behind me. Heavy. Not a squirrel. Not small. Something with weight. I refused to look. The whistle came again. Longer this time. Almost amused. I broke into a jog. And that's when I made the mistake. I glanced over my shoulder. I didn't see a face. I didn't see an animal. I saw movement between the trees. Tall. Too tall. Its shape wrong somehow. Limbs bending at angles that didn't match the way a body should move. And its head, tilted, like it was studying me, learning. I ran. Branches whipped at my arms. The trail curved ahead, but for a moment, I didn't recognize it. It felt unfamiliar, twisted, like the forest had shifted. Then I heard something that made my stomach drop. My own voice, calling out, panicked, "Help!" from somewhere ahead of me. That's when I understood. It wasn't just copying, it was collecting, trying on sounds, testing them. I covered my ears and kept running. I didn't look again. didn't respond, didn't stop. The forest stayed silent behind me. No more whistles, no more footsteps, nothing. Until I reached the parking lot. When I burst out of the trees, the sun was lower than it should have been. I checked my phone. 3 hours had passed. My hike was supposed to take 90 minutes. I don't remember losing time. I don't remember slowing down. But I know this. When I got into my car, my phone buzzed. A voicemail from my aunt. Time stamped 20 minutes earlier. I played it. It was her voice. Calm. Normal. "Hey, Em, just checking on you. Call me back when you can." I listened carefully. There was nothing strange about it. But underneath her message, faint, almost too faint to notice, there were 2 soft notes. A whistle. I don't hike alone anymore. And when I visit the mountains, I follow the rules. If something calls your name from the trees, no matter how familiar it sounds, you keep walking. Because in the Appalachians, some things don't hunt you. They learn you. My family has been renting the same cabin every October for the past 6 years. It's nothing fancy. Just a small wooden place tucked deep in the Allegheny woods. No Wi-Fi. Weak cell service. One grocery store about 40 minutes away. We go there to unplug, to hike, to breathe. And until last year, it was always peaceful. We arrived on a Friday afternoon, me, my husband Daniel, and our 8-year-old son Caleb. The gravel road looked the same. The trees were already turning orange and gold. The air had that cold, clean smell that only shows up in early fall. But when we pulled into the clearing, Daniel slowed the car. There was a van, about 30 yards from the cabin. A white cargo van. No logos. No windows on the sides. Just plain white metal and tinted front glass. It wasn't there the last time we came. Daniel assumed it belonged to another hiker. Sometimes people camp off-trail for a night or two. It wasn't technically allowed, but it happened. The thing was, it wasn't set up like someone camping. No chairs. No cooler. No fire pit. Just the van. Sitting there. Engine off. Completely still. Daniel walked over and knocked on the side door. No answer. He tried the handle. Locked. He circled it once, then came back. "Probably someone hiking," he said. "They'll show up before dark." I nodded, but I couldn't explain why I felt watched. That first evening was normal. We grilled burgers. Caleb chased leaves around the yard. The forest slowly darkened around us. The van didn't move. Around midnight, I woke up. At first, I didn't know why. Then I heard it. A soft, metallic sound, like a sliding door being pulled slowly along its track. It was coming from outside, from the direction of the van. I got out of bed quietly and stepped to the window. The clearing was dark except for faint moonlight. The van was exactly where it had been. Closed. Still. No lights. No movement. I told myself I imagined it. Old metal contracts in cold weather. I went back to bed. The next morning, the van was still there. Daniel frowned. That's weird. Still no sign of anyone. No footprints around it. No trash. Nothing. That afternoon, we went hiking. About halfway through, Caleb stopped walking. "Mom?" I turned. "I think someone's following us." I looked back down the trail. Nothing. But the forest felt tighter, quieter. When we got back to the cabin, my heart nearly stopped. The van had moved. Not far, but closer. It was parked at the edge of our clearing, facing the cabin. That night, we locked every door, every window. At 2:17 a.m., we heard it again. The sliding door. And then, footsteps on our porch. 1, 2, 3. They stopped outside the front door. The doorknob moved. Slowly. Testing. Daniel flung the door open. The porch was empty. The clearing was empty. The van was gone. No engine. No headlights. No sound. In the dirt in front of our porch, there were footprints, leading up to the door, but none leading away. As we drove away before sunrise, Caleb asked quietly, "Why was he standing outside our house?" "What do you mean?" I asked. "The man from the van. He was standing by the porch when Dad opened the door." My blood ran cold. There was no one there. No time for someone to run. No sound. Nothing. We've never gone back to that cabin. The rental listing disappeared 2 months later. And sometimes, when I think about that night, I don't wonder who was inside the van. I wonder how long they had been there, watching us come back, year after year, waiting. There's a lake about 20 minutes from my hometown. It doesn't even have a proper name on most maps. Locals just call it Blackwater. The water is darker than it should be. Even at noon, it looks like ink spilled into a bowl. Growing up, we all knew the story. Years ago, a girl drowned there. No one agrees on how. Some say she slipped off the old dock. Some say she swam too far. Some say she didn't go in alone. After that summer, things around the lake changed. I didn't believe any of it. At least, not until the night I heard her. It started as a normal camping trip. 4 of us, me, my boyfriend Tyler, and 2 friends, decided to spend a weekend by the lake before summer ended. We set up tents near the shoreline, not far from the water. It was peaceful during the day, sunlight reflecting off the surface, dragonflies skimming low, the faint smell of pine and wet earth. But the lake was always quiet, too quiet. No boats, no swimmers, even on a warm weekend. That afternoon, Tyler dared us to jump off the dock. It was old gray wood, worn by years of weather but still stable. He went first. The splash echoed louder than it should have. When he came back up, he laughed. Cold but fine. I went next. The water wrapped around me like something heavy, colder than I expected, thicker, and when I kicked toward the ladder, I felt it. A brush along my ankle. Soft, deliberate. I froze. Tyler asked what was wrong. I forced a laugh. Probably weeds. But there weren't any weeds in that part of the lake. The bottom drops fast. It's just open water. I climbed out quickly. I didn't go back in. Later that evening, one of our friends realized her towel was missing. We had left everything in a pile near the dock shoes, phones, towels. The pile had been neat. Now it looked disturbed. Her towel was gone. We assumed it blew into the water, except there was no wind, and nothing floated near the shore. That night, we sat by the fire. The forest surrounding the lake felt darker than usual. The trees seemed to lean inward. Around midnight, the fire burned low. That's when we heard it. At first, it sounded like wind through branches. Then it sharpened, rose higher, broke. It wasn't wind. It was a sound twisted at the edges, like someone trying to scream underwater. High, thin, almost human. It came from across the lake. We all went still. Tyler tried to rationalize it. Foxes make weird noises at night. But I've heard foxes. This wasn't that. This sounded like a woman trying to call out, and failing. None of us slept much. Around 3 a.m., I woke up needing air. The tent felt suffocating. I unzipped it and stepped outside. The lake was perfectly still. Mist hovered just above the surface. And near the dock, I saw something. At first, I thought it was fog shaped strangely. Then it moved. A pale shape just beneath the water, close to the edge, not floating, standing, as if someone were upright below the surface, looking up. I couldn't see a face, but I felt eyes, locked on me. My phone buzzed suddenly in my hand. I nearly screamed. It was just a notification. When I looked back at the lake, the shape was gone. The surface smooth again, like nothing had ever disturbed it. The next morning, things got worse. Tyler's shoes were missing. Not scattered. Not half buried. Gone. We searched everywhere, even along the shallow edge of the lake. Nothing. It felt less like something had been taken, and more like something had been collected. Before we left, an older man from a nearby property approached us. He asked if we had gone swimming. Tyler said yes. The man went quiet. Then he told us the full version of the story. The girl who drowned had been 19. She was last seen swimming alone at dusk. Her body wasn't found for 3 days. And when they did recover her, her hands were full of lakeweeds, like she had been holding on to something, or something had been holding on to her. The man said one more thing before he left. People say she doesn't like being alone down there. I didn't ask what he meant. I already knew. That was 3 summers ago. I haven't been back. But sometimes, when I'm in the shower, water running over my legs, I feel that same soft brush against my ankle. Slow, curious, waiting. And once, late at night, with my windows open, I heard it again. That distant, broken sound, carried on air that didn't feel like wind. I don't think the lake is haunted. I think it's inhabited, and whatever lives beneath Blackwater doesn't want to be forgotten. Even the darkest stories leave something behind. Stay with me. There are more stories.